Hello, so glad you could join me. Why don't you come and doodle with me? I needed to make a laughing Griffin for my thumbnail for the YouTube channel. So I'm gonna draw it right now. You can follow along with me. I kind of use an Ed Emberley type style. You can go ahead and look him up on the internet. Very simple line and shapes, not very into high levels of detail. I'm gonna put my own spin on things though, so why don't you go ahead and join me. So let's start off with making the head. That's just gonna be a circle. Now of course you can make it larger or smaller. You could also use a compass if you wanted, if you really wanted to get it exactly correct, but I just freehand it here. Let's now start off with making the beak. I'm going to use basically a rectangle that goes inside of the circle and outside the circle. And materials that I'm using today are a number 2 pencil, sketch paper, and colored pencils. All right, looks good. Next, I'm going to draw a curve, just like the letter D. I'm going to go a little bit outside. From here, I'm going to draw a single point. And this is going to be the bottom part of the beak. And I'm going to just connect those dots. All right, good. Let's now draw another part of the beak here. So I'm going to basically choose 2 points. One at the end, one a little bit less than halfway through, and I'm going to make another curved line. There we go, starting to shape up. So why don't we erase some of the other lines that we don't need anymore. I probably should have mentioned the pencil that you do use, it should have an eraser on it, because there's going to be a lot of that. All right, let's draw in the nose, like that. And here comes the tough part. We're going to use 2 curved lines to make the smile. We're going to follow this line here that I drew already for the bottom part of the beak. Very good. He looks happy, but let's make him even more happy by drawing another, almost a smiley face line, like that. Now he's looking just overjoyed. Let's now make the eye. We're gonna have it be closed, so it's basically a curved line upside down. Like that. That looks great. Let's give him some little bit more character with another curved line above that one. And now he looks like he's really laughing. This beak here looks a little bit off. It's very straight, and Ed Emberley would have probably left it like that, but I'm gonna do a little bit more there. So we're gonna do a curve in like this, and a curve out like that. That's very similar to an S basically on its side. And then let's remove some of the other marks with the pencil. Eraser. Also by the nose, let's add in another little mark, just like that, give it a little bit more character. Okay, we need to now make the neck, but we need to know exactly where we're going to be going with that, because we need the part of the body to attach it to. So we're going to draw another 2 circles. One here, and then another part of the body over here. Now Griffin is supposed to be this mythological creature that has head of an eagle, body of a lion, wings of an eagle. So now that we've got that shaped up, we're going to kind of peanut this off, and we're going to draw 2 curved lines. Again, they're going to become somewhat subtle. Good. And now we have a basic outline now of where the neck could be. Also 2 slightly curved lines like that. All right, That's all good. Let's now draw in the feathers for the neck. And to do this, it's basically going to be a bunch of zigzags. And don't worry about where the lines are underneath. They're just going to get erased eventually anyways. And you don't have to make yours exactly like mine either. And they don't all have to match up either. Alright, great. Let's erase some of those other lines that are on the inside. Again, in Ed Emberly's books, he probably would have just covered them over with a solid color. And we'll get to that with coloring with the colored pencils later. Now I'm keeping my lines somewhat heavy so that you can see them. Obviously, if you were doing it yourself, you would want to keep those lines fairly light so it's easier to erase. And let's add another feather in down here. Strengthen those up. Okay. Next, let's draw the locations for the legs. Again, we're going to use circles to start them off. I'm going to draw a circle here and a slightly larger circle back here. Hind leg should probably be a little bit bigger. Most animals, their legs and knees don't bend like a human's. They go the other way. So, small circle over here, and a small circle over here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And we want to really make sure, if we can, to have this be level compared to the other one for reference. And again, we're going to be going back and forth like this. All right, very good. Now, if you really wanted to and get really detailed, you could put in another set of legs. I'm not going to do that. I want to keep this very simple. Again, this is more for that thumbnail, so that's really what I'm concerned about here. Let's also frame out now the wings. This will be where the wing will be attaching to. And let's make the wing about this long. So let's connect them with a circle right here. Again, right above kind of where the shoulder would be. And I'm just freehanding it again, just so, if you had a ruler and wanted to do it with a ruler, feel free. But it's all going to be covered up with feathers later anyways, so it's not really that big of a concern at this point. And we're just going to use that line as a marker. All right, let's get rid of some of these marks on the inside here, because they're not needed anymore. And don't worry if there's a little bit of them showing up. We'll be covering all that over with the colored pencils later. All right, why don't we now do the tail? Let's draw a circle back here. Now they typically have a lion's tail being depicted. This is something that's going to be kind of freehand, but it's basically going to be a couple, would be like the letter S. and it should just follow the same pattern. There we go. And as you can see here, I went a little bit too much. That's a little bit of a mistake. That's why we have erasers. It should taper down something better like that, where it's thicker at the beginning and less at the end. Let's actually make that a bit bigger. Get that idea of what's going on here. Okay. Again, very similar to this, but these are going to be a little bit finer because, again, this is going to be fur. Beautiful. Erase the insides. Okay. Let's do the paws now. So we're just going to basically make an oval. So it's a little bit bigger on both of them. And we'll erase the inner side. And they should be pretty close to level and close enough for our purposes. Next, let's put in the paws. I'm going to put in little lines like that. Okay, and we'll put in the little talons, basically little triangles. Very good. Next, let's work on these wings. Again, very much like the little curved lines like that. And let's start off with lines that are curved here, curved here, curved here. I'm making it somewhat irregular because, again, just freehanding it here. Let's do some, now we've got our outline there, we don't need this anymore. And let's do now, again, these are just curved lines. Need to be much more complicated than that. Oops. And I actually don't like that. No wings, no feathers shaped like that. Even on a fictional, mythological creature. Bird in the background, perhaps. I am out in my patio. You can see where I made my area for crafting on an earlier video. And I live in Florida, so there's birds year round. And again, you don't have to do this like I am. Again, I'm just kind of showing you how you can make those feathers. All right, let's see, any other details we want to keep it on this. Maybe let's just do some more feathers down here. They kind of match up with the feathers we already have up there. All right, looks good. Although he looks kind of thin, let's correct that a little bit. Be a little bit more sturdy. Okay, so that's the basic shape right there. Let's get to coloring. Now, a lot of times griffins will be colored, the same colors as the animals that they're depicted. So white eagle head, white wings, yellow beak, brown body. I'm not going to go that route. I want this to really pop out on the website. So let's get out the color. Plus I have a lot of colors, so why not use more colors? So I'm going to use red to do pretty much the body and the wings, and yellow for the beak. Now what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that the direction that I'm moving the pencil goes along with the direction of the feathers and the fur. So I don't know if you can quite pick up all of that. The camera's picking it all up. But yes, the direction that you're moving the pencil in does matter. And I'm not pushing down heavy here, just lightly. And it might be obscuring things a little bit, but don't worry, because we have our pencil marks there. They were kind of light to begin with, and I'll really darken them up afterwards. All right, let's do the same thing here with the fur. And again, I'm going to try to get the contours. This is not like crayon where you can, just fill it all in, or like markers where you just fill it all in. And there's a lot of people that use those coloring books. They just go to town just filling it all in, and they don't really pay attention to the direction that you're going. But if you go to if you take the time to go the direction of what you're coloring in, it can tend to look a little bit better. And it adds sort of a texture to it that that is noticeable if you actually see the piece in person. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that. On here or not. Oh, you know what? No, that can stay there. So you can see there's the line direction kind of helps out with that. Now that I've got more of it filled in. That looks good. Let's do the wings now. So again, I'm going to be moving the pencil in the direction of the actual wings. Excuse me. Again, just trying to get all these wings feathers covered up with the red. And now that I've gotten this done, he's kind of looking like Clifford, and a little bit more detail I think is in order here. So I'm just now gonna go a little bit harder on the areas where I've put all the darkened lines to really give it definition without having to go in there and use any ink or darker pencil lines again. And again, this should give it a lot of good texture. Not really pop out a bit. So what I'm doing here is just wherever I made the marks, I'm just pushing down harder on the pencil to get it a little bit more defined. This is not necessarily something that you can do with things like markers and pens. They kind of have one set amount. So the amount of pressure that you use with the pencil determines how heavy it gets laid down. As you can see, when I go outside the lines, I'm not all that concerned. I'm not too worried about it, really. It's all right, and it's with the pencil, it can be erased, not like other medium where it can't be. That's why I wanted to kind of work with this, because it's easier to follow. You can really see now how that's starting to really pop out with that second layer. Good. Just gonna add some shading, kind of where those lines were before. Again, we've got the claw to make. place where I have those lines that were black. For the paws, I'm just emphasizing those. Shading it in a little bit more. And there. Again, you don't have to go into this level of detail if you don't want to. You could have just colored it just all one piece if you wanted to, but I felt that I really needed to kind of do a little bit heavier. There we go, and there's all the red done. I'm just gonna do a quick check. It's looking all right. I don't quite have it centered, but that's all right. All right. Hello for the beak. And this, I'm not too concerned about the direction. I really just want it all filled in. Some of these lines that were there before, I really want to make sure I get rid of all of them. All right, and now I'm going to go heavier at the edges. And kind of try, if I can, to shade it in a bit. There we are. Again, another step you don't necessarily have to do. I'm going to add in some orange for some highlights. And that should help things out. We're just going to go over the parts with it that would have feathers. We'll leave the parts that have fur alone for the moment. Necessarily going very heavy here. All right, looks good. Let's see a nice corresponding color. Let's do a little purple. Because why not? Just some light highlighting here. A little bit heavier on the tail here with the purple. Doing some nice highlight. All right, pretty good. Let's go with a different type of color to highlight that beak a little bit. Another little different bit of orange. Don't know how much of that is getting picked up on camera, but it should. And again, pressure is everything here, how much pressure you're applying. All right, he looks happy. He looks like he's laughing. Although now when I look at this, I don't quite like what's going on here. It looks a little bit too light in there. So we're gonna get in there and redden it up a little bit more. Again, still trying to go in that direction. Following where the marks with the fur would be. Yeah, that looks good. That needs a little bit here. And there we go. And I'm going to study it a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks pretty much done. I'm going to take some photos of this, make it a thumbnail, put it on the YouTube site. I'll be posting more videos, getting up together links and stuff like that in the future. So go ahead and subscribe. If you like this, please do share to tell me so in the comment section, and give me suggestions for what else you would like to see me draw, or you would like to doodle along with me. I think next time I won't make things so complicated in terms of the coloring job. It'll be probably a little bit quicker, and we'll have more Ed Emberley type style happening in the future. All right, thank you. Hope to see you again soon.